fall of 2013, Gary Temple Bodley began channeling a group of non-physical teachers known as Joshua. Soon thereafter, Joshua asked Gary to start writing. They have since produced 4 books and answered hundreds of questions in written form. In the spring of 2016, on the Law of Attraction cruise, Gary underwent hypnosis and Joshua spoke through him for the first time. Since that time, Gary has been practicing channeling Joshua verbally in live weekly calls with one-on-one students. These Joshua calls are now available to those of you joining us on the leading edge of thought. This is the expansion of the Law of Attraction. This is Joshua Live. We're thrilled you're here.
We are thrilled to be here. How did we get here? This is a cozy spot. Do you like where you've been on the ship?
Yes.
Has it been fun?
Yes.
We've been in a very special place on the ship.
Yes.
We've been on deck 13 the whole time. Just watching from deck 13, we can see everything. Everything that you're doing, everything that you're enjoying, all the new things that you're trying, all the new ways that you're deciding to be, all the times you think of complaining and then replace that thought with a thought of how wonderful this is, or with a better feeling thought, all the habits of before the cruise that might have occurred to you are now transforming into a different way of being after this experience, which you will go back and you will think of as life-altering. And a life-altering experience, we believe, happens in any moment. That's the beautiful thing about life. Every moment is life-altering because you're always changing. You are never static. You are always moving forward. There is no regression. There is no moving backward. There's not even anything like being stuck. You can't be stuck. You are always moving forward. You are always expanding with every thought. And sometimes you're expanding in big ways. And sometimes you are expanding gradually. But you are always expanding. So you are different now than you were when you walked in this room. And you will be different when you leave this room. And you will be different when you leave this ship. And you can choose how you want to be. It is completely up to you. There is no one making those decisions for you. When this ship comes to port, that land that you land on will be new. You have never been there before. It'll be completely different. It'll be totally up to you what you make of it. Because you create your reality. And this is the reality of the universe. That in every moment, it seems like a different time, but it's the same time. It seems like a different place, but it's the same place. But it could be the same place in a different way, in whatever way you imagine it. So it doesn't have to be the same for you. There is this illusion that every moment flows into the next moment. That is the illusion of time. And we know time does not really exist. You're just moving through a series of dimensions, and you fork into this way, and you fork into this way, and you come back where you want to be, or you move to where you will end up being anyway, and it doesn't matter what decision you make because every decision is right, and there are a billion paths to wherever you want to go, and you can take the long road or the short road, the easy road or the hard road. It's whatever is up to you. And this is the most brilliant thing that we've ever said. We are complete. You may enjoy the rest of your cruise. Unless somebody has something they want to ask.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Remarkable.
Remarkable.
Gotta get used to that name. Hello there.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, so I haven't thought out this question fully, but I'll just ramble a little bit maybe.
Excellent.
So I have a decision to make. And for me, it's not as easy as follow the excitement because it's not full-on excitement, but that might be because of fear or whatnot. So what I'm thinking of doing is just setting an intention, because it's involving money too, and it gets all funny. So,
why does money get funny?
Because we have a perception of lack of it.
Or a perception of a stockpile of it. That there is a finite, that the money that came, as miraculous as that was, you don't think that could ever happen again. Or you're not sure that it can happen again. Or possibly it might not happen again.
Yeah.
Right? Sort of like how Gary feels before one of these. It's possible that we may not show up, but we always do. It's possible the money may not show up.
Yeah.
But here's how money works. If you forget about the idea of money, And just think about the idea of abundance. Money shows up when it needs to show up so that you can do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to have more than you need. And if you allow it to just be that, then you won't be conscious of the lack of it. If you say, I don't know how it's going to come, but I trust that it will come, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
But anyway,
Or that might be in manifestation.
it will come
Yeah.
to do what you need to do. See, there's certain things you are here to do. And you are provided with everything you need to do them.
Mm-hmm.
You think the money is outside of you. The money is inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You bring forth the belief of how it can come to you.
Yeah.
So the more expansive your belief in that the money can come, the easier it is for the money to come.
Yeah.
Right. So when Gary was first doing the one-on-ones, we came to Steve, and Steve didn't pay anything. It was this experiment. And then Gary figured out how much time it was taking, and he put a number on it, and he wasn't sure if anyone would come. And then Kate came, and then other people came, and now it's a waiting list to get on. So now it's actually something. And then if it wasn't that, it would be houses. And the houses come. If it wasn't that, it would be something else. So don't worry about how the money comes. Take money out of the equation. Because if you limit yourself by this belief that you don't have enough money to do something, well, then you can not go on this cruise, for instance. You cannot do a lot of things that you want to do.
Yeah.
So just take that out of the equation and then think, if it wasn't for the money, what would I do?
Oh. Yeah, so you answered my question before I asked it. Yeah,
We're sorry.
That's okay. I forgive you.
So now, take the money out of the equation. What's the next fear that you come up with?
I already answered that. So if the money's out, then it wouldn't be a... If the money's out of the equation, then it wouldn't be a...
Well, what if it would be? What would it be? What could possibly... What's the thing that you're thinking of doing, for instance?
What do you think?
We have absolutely no idea.
Well, you mentioned the one-on-one, so it would be the one-on-one.
Being the one-on-one, and what else did we mention?
The round table.
Right.
Yeah.
So are any of those things scary?
Round tables a little bit, not too much. It's more like, is it my natural thing? You know, not as scary, but just, is it the right... Yeah, I mean, I would do it and try it. If it doesn't work, I can always...
No.
Yeah.
You're committed forever.
I'm committed.
Yes.
Oh, I'm locked in. Okay. And then
So that's an excellent way to look at it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you say, there's a fear. Is it for me? I don't know. But if it's not X, Y, Z, don't have to do it. There's no commitment. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I might like it. Who knows? I'm not attached to any outcome. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, because when I think of is it right for me? Is it natural for me? But then when I think of just being on it with you guys, just having fun and talking, then it'd be really fun.
You enjoy this conversation.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make sense that the next logical step is to continue the conversation?
Yeah.
And to maintain this continuation of this conversation.
Yeah.
And this expansion of what you have chosen to do by just being in this room.
Yeah.
And being on this cruise. And having that inspiration to be on a previous roundtable. And having the experience of that so that you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Right. And growing that. So these things don't just come out of the blue. They don't come to anyone else on this ship. No one else on this ship has occurred to them. No one else outside of this room has that occurred to them.
Yeah.
You're here for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this path that you're on, and you're floating downstream. And you bump up against a little boulder. And the little boulder is money. And you don't have to dig out that boulder. You can just move around it and not worry about it. But can you see how you're swimming downstream and everything you want is unfolding without you having to do anything?
Yeah. And when I have done the trusting with the money, with the abundance thinking, it's been working out. I mean, I've been spending a lot of money recently, and it always works out.
It's always working out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, an interesting thing of being in the one-on-one, you might increase your idea of worthiness. And as you do that, you allow more abundance to flow. Right?
Yeah.
Now, is there a fear in becoming more expansive?
Not really. I mean, it might be subtle, but it's not big if it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
If it is there, you can say that my expansion in this possible conversation can only be of benefit, not just to me, but to those around me.
Yeah.
Not just to me, but to those around me, those who I serve.
Yeah.
You are here to serve.
Yeah.
And this can be a way for you to be even more effective, even more powerful, and even more confident. And it's the confidence that you have that creates the beliefs in others.
Yeah.
You are not changing them, who you work with, by tapping. You are not physically altering their reality. You are giving them a belief system that they can use to take to heal themselves.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You did not heal Deborah Jo. You gave her the confidence and the device that allowed her to heal herself.
Absolutely.
Right? Right. And the more confident you are in that,
Yes.
the less often your phone will ring.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And when the phone does ring, it won't even matter to you. You won't even notice it. It won't be a distraction at all.
Yeah.
You won't feel negative emotion. You won't feel this uneasiness of who you really are.
I keep forgetting about that happening, and you keep reminding me. You and
What
Gary.
happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
And I didn't look at that connection. Of,
Yeah. And who called you? Do you know who called you?
Yeah. It was my neighbor who were building a fence, and so I don't know what that meant, but I think it was more about just
Somehow the inspiration came at that time to call you.
yeah.
Right? So this is an example of all your millions working together to get you into a manifestation event so that you can look at how you were feeling in that moment,
Yeah.
which was less confident than normal had you been in a cabin, not with the pressure of everyone watching you.
Yeah.
Right? And this shows you an idea that here is a different level of confidence that you can achieve, right? And it works out perfectly for you.
I see that clearly. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess just the little small other part, and I think I'm okay with it, but just the other part that wasn't a definite yes was the questions. I don't have the burning questions. Not to say that I don't have any work to be done. I can't,
This is the most common
Yeah.
thing that people think. They don't think that they have questions, and then the questions are sparked by other people's questions. And in a one-on-one, next question, step one, ask one question.
Yeah.
Step one, receive one answer. Step one, that answer will spark another question.
Yeah.
What you're doing is there's 100 questions that can happen in 6 months. How can I think of 100 questions? Right?
Yeah.
And so from your perspective here, which is just starting, and we'll say that your vibrations here are starting, and that your vibration 6 months from now is going to be up here. From here, you can't see how to get to there. You can never see how to get to there. You have to trust that your inner self can see how to get to there, right?
Yeah.
So that's why when you look 50 steps ahead or you're attached to a certain outcome, you think that things aren't feeling right, right? That it isn't natural. But there's no way you can see what's going to be like from 100 questions later. Now, 100 questions later, you will be at that vibration of 100 questions. And you will look back on all these questions and say, what a remarkable journey that was.
Yeah.
Wasn't it interesting that I had some fear and doubt in the beginning? And thank God I did it for whatever reason.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like when I commit, I'll come up with the questions. But I was more about as a decision making thing, like since I don't have that burning questions, should I do the one-on-one? That was kind of like part of the decision.
So here's the answer to that.
Yeah.
If you do it, that's the perfect decision. If you don't do it, that's the perfect decision. It's right either way.
Okay. So yeah. So my full question was and then I want to see if you have a process for decision making. So what I was going to do was first set an intention to have the answer and it'll come to me somehow. The second was what you just said, like whether I decide or not decide, okay. And the third was to just relax into it and don't try to think about it anymore and just kind of.
Here's what we would do.
Yeah.
We would write down a list of pros and a list of pros.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the list of pros is the list of love. And the list of cons would be a list of fears. Right? And you could actually work through those fears if you had them. But we wouldn't even bother with them. We'd write a list of pros. What could be the best thing that could happen? What could be the best thing that could happen? What could be the best thing that could happen? This could happen, 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 this could happen. All the way down. This whole list of the potential, the possibilities that you open yourself up to.
Yeah.
And then you could also write a list of all the bad things that could happen, but why do that?
Yeah.
Right? Why do that? Set your intentions on the list of possibilities.
See, when I do that, it excites me. Because I see.
When you feel the excitement,
Yeah.
that is your indication that you're aligned with how your inner self sees the exact same thing.
Okay.
Right? And all you are doing in this life is allowing what you want to unfold. Your inner self is maintaining the perspective that you must have to reach that level of where you want to go. You can't see that this one-on-one is part of it. You can't see that being on the round table is part of it. You can't see that coming on this cruise was part of it. You can't see that meeting your friends on the phone call that you have was part of it. You can't see how meeting your wife was part of it. You can't see how moving from music into coaching was part of it, right? But as you do each step, you get there. And then when you look back, you can see, well, if this never happened, I would not have done this. I would not have done this. It would boom, boom, boom. Everything worked out perfectly, and here I am.
Yeah.
And then from there, you make another decision.
Very cool.
Right? About you do what's the highest excitement in any moment. Mm-hmm. And if you take the cons out of the way and you build the excitement with the pros, that will help you make a decision.
Okay. Thank you. And so just if I had a decision, or if we all have a decision where it might be one thing or the other, do you have a process of how to decide between two things?
What do you think?
What do I think the answer is?
Uh-huh.
I would think, the way I would do it is just think about each one and see what excites me most, but I don't.
Or write a list of the pros of this one and the pros of this one, and which seems more exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And leave out the cons.
Cool.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I wasn't going to ask a question, so that helped me a lot right there.
Seems like you weren't going to ask a question, and then you've got this life-changing, life-altering
It is, actually.
answer that's not just changing your life, but the life of everyone who has the same question, which many people do. And in the next moment, you'll be inspired to do something else. You were inspired to come up here first without a question.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
It's remarkable. It is remarkable. You are remarkable.
Wow. Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
You just got it from infinite intelligence.
Follow up with remarkable.
Okay, go.
Oh,
Ready to
yeah.
go.
Okay, and following Mark, sometimes I have not a hard time, but I have a difficulty in figuring out what I want versus what I need. For instance, I want a bigger boat. I need to remodel the bathroom. So in following along with what Remarkable came with, it excites me to have a bigger boat. It also excites me to have a remodel bathroom, but maybe not as much as a bigger boat.
So in the list of the pros of the bigger boat, you can write down what's the best thing about having a bigger boat.
Like enjoying the nature, the people.
But the bigger boat, what's the difference between the boat you have now and the bigger boat?
More people, more joy, the ability to stay overnight, going longer distances, that kind of thing.
And
but if I do that...
No, there's no cons.
Oh, okay.
So what's the joy that you'll get out of a remodeled bathroom?
Probably the feeling I get of knowing and putting something beautiful upstairs instead of something old.
Well, so the new is better than the old.
Yes.
In what way?
How it makes me feel.
How it makes you feel. What else does it do for you?
It completes something that I've been wanting to do.
What else does it do for you? It makes your wife happy.
Well, that's
What is your goal in life?
well,
What is the one thing that you are an expert at?
Well, be happy.
What is the one thing? Yeah, but
Yeah,
you enjoy making her happy,
I enjoy making her happy.
right? So your joy in life,
Be almost beyond my joy.
your joy is
That's correct.
when
That's
she
correct.
feels joy.
That's
right?
correct.
So that's how you get your joy, right? So your pure joy comes from her joy, and this decision, from our perspective, for you is easy, right? And there isn't there isn't one or the other. It's both. Why not have both?
I guess I could.
You could have both. Why not?
Could.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, have both. Yeah.
All right.
And she will have joy being on a bigger boat with a bathroom in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
She would.
Yeah. And then you'll have joy because she'll be happy to be on the boat with the bathroom.
That's true.
Yeah. So you can have both. You can have it all. There's nothing you cannot have. This idea that it's this or that, why not replace it with this and that?
Ooh. Okay. All right. Very good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good answer.
Who's next in this very hot seat?
I have a feeling you're looking at me. People are raising their hand.
Ada wants to
Ada, come on. Come on. We're just playing with Drew because Drew has all her questions answered by you all. So we believe if she came up here first, she would have these questions that she's going to get answers to anyway. So we're having fun.
Yes, we are. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Good, yeah. I have several questions. I thought I only had one, of course, and then it expanded to two before I got here, and now it's three, and it might be another one. So
Fantastic.
we'll start somewhere, I guess. So the first question I actually had thought about was, if I knew what question to ask that would benefit all of us, what would that be?
The question you're thinking of right now. Because that's the only question you can ask. The only question that's of benefit to them is the one that's of benefit to you.
Okay, well, that's where I went next.
So here's how this reality works. Everyone is self-contained. Everyone is the center of their universe. Everyone is a vibrational match to you in this moment. And those who are here, who understand what we're talking about, will understand your question and our answer in a way that serves them. They won't understand it in the way that serves you. It'll be specific to you, and you may not fully get it right now. You may get it when you listen back later, because being here in this presence, in this hot seat, in the spotlight, under the glare of loving people here, you might not recognize what we're saying. They might get it because they're not as attached to your question, which makes it easier for them to understand what we're saying and how it applies to them. Makes it much more difficult when it's someone in the hot seat in this arena and trying to make themselves comfortable while under the scrutiny of everyone else. So the scrutiny of other people, or this belief that you have to be a certain way with people, sort of can cut you off from the clear thinking that you normally think, right? And it's just this distraction. And so you'll ask what you ask, we will answer it, and you will maybe get it, maybe not get it. But as you go back and you relax and you get back to your level of comfort and your level of clarity that you normally have, then you will hear things that you didn't hear now. So fire away.
Well, I realized that's why I had two questions. That was my first question, but I thought the real question is, what would be my question? What would the question for me be? That would, what you just said. In other words, what would benefit me? What is the question that would benefit me to ask you?
How do I maintain my alignment when things are bumpy? When things seem to be a little bit scary, a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit out of my comfort zone, a little bit unusual, a little bit new, that sort of thing. So our answer to that question, if that was your question, would be to recognize that all of this is for you. That it appears that there are other people in this room and that they have their lives, you have your life. But what's really happening is this right now is for you. And if someone comes into your reality, you are a match to them on some level. And that there is a benefit from them being with you and a benefit for you being with them. And often you are the conduit for them to reach their own alignment, for them to receive what they need to receive. Right? So sometimes you are receiving, well, you are always receiving something, but sometimes you're the conduit, right? And you get stuff out of what you do for them, but they get what they need from you too. And sometimes you're just there to service them, you know. And if you can maintain the alignment even when it seems like things are a little weird, or they're not having the results you think they should have, or that there's a distraction going on somewhere else, or that things aren't perfect, or that people should be different than they are, then you can say, everything's right, everything's happening for me, everything's going to turn out okay, and I can relax, and the thing that I'm going to think about is maintaining this line of energy to the downloads that you're talking about in a harmonious, calm, easy, relaxed way. And that you don't have to be anything more than you are right now. Because as you are right now is perfect for everyone who comes into contact with you.
Thank you.
How's that feel?
Feels better and better.
Do you have any other points?
I have a specific question about along these same lines, because I work with a lot of energy. It seems like a lot at the same time, and I think sometimes I'm not clear because there's too much going on.
Right.
But so I guess in a sense, and my body is not always happy about that, and it tends to. I've had skin breakout for off and on for the last few years, and I never had that before. I've always been able to maintain the body and all that. Mm-hmm. So, but I always feel like that there is an energetic cause that once I address it,
it'll clear up.
It's going to allow, yes.
Right. So, all unwanted physical conditions are a result of inner conflict and stress. And the stress is that you believe something should be different than it is. That you should be different than you are, that people should be different than they are, that the environment or the conditions should be different than they are, right? Not realizing that everything is perfect. Having an attachment to an outcome that you think should happen rather than the outcome that is happening, right? If you can allow that this room is the most beautiful, fantastic room to ever have something like this in it, and that there could be nothing better than this right now, that this is perfect in every way, that the people that are here are perfect in every way. That this group and where they're sitting is not by chance. This is all perfection here. How they are receiving this, how they are being in this moment, everything is perfect. And how you are being is perfect too. Okay? And that if it seems like it's not working out the way you think, or if it seems like things should be better than they are, or if it seems like you should be doing something to improve, that's all an illusion. And that's what causes the stress. Now, when you think that things should be different than they are, like someone arriving on time, or being able to get somewhere on time, or not to be raining this day, or whatever it is, you are choosing a perspective that is different than your inner self's perspective. Your inner self knows exactly how everything should be working out, and your job is to maintain that perspective. Now, when you don't feel the same perspective, you'll get an indication, and that'll be negative emotion. You'll feel let down, disappointed, frustrated, angry, envious, wish things were different, that sort of thing. That's your message from your inner self telling you, hey, your perspective is here based in fear. It should be up here based in love. In fear, it seems like things aren't working out. In love, it seems like everything is working out, right? And so if you ignore those emotions long enough, right, and you don't think about the fear that's causing you to choose this limited perspective, well then the body has to manifest a sign. And it manifests it in migraines or skin conditions or sunburns or whatever. Yep. And so all you have to do is go back to realizing that everything's working out, everything's fine, everything's good. It's all going along as it should.
Okay.
We're not saying that's easy.
I understand.
We're not saying it's easy at all. It's easy on a cruise, but in the real world, there's traffic. Yep.
So, there was a little nuance to that. Oh, so when I'm feeling someone pushing against, and I don't feel like it's me, so I'm just trying to be, but you still, someone you're really close to, when they're pushing against, it's really, I know what you're saying. Just hold your space. I mean, I've done it before. You hold that vibration, and that they will shift, or you will shift out, or whatever it happens. But
if you perceive someone pushing against, and that causes negative emotion, what you're really doing is wanting them to be different than they are, so that you can feel good. Mm-hmm. If they would only just receive and just, be healed by allowing the healing to take place, or be aware that everything's working out, or not to bring up this subject that we don't want to talk about, or not to think about the things we don't want to think about. If they could just be more like me, if you're thinking that, then I would feel better. But you feel better by allowing them to be perfect as they are. And notice the thing that you are having difficulties with them is the thing that's your fear, not their fear, right?
I hear that.
If you imagine you are a limitless being of pure positive love and acceptance, the limitless part means there's no fear. And the acceptance part means that you accept them as they are. So limitless is fearless, and acceptance is love. So you are a fearless being of love. Right? And so if you are at any point thinking that anything should be different, well, it's just you're allowing a little bit of fear in there. And that fear is limiting. And you're getting a notification about it because you have that emotion. But if you keep wanting things to be different, you're going to keep continuing to have that emotion. And that emotion is going to turn into a very specific issue. Lily has a frozen shoulder. The word should is in shoulder. Things should be different. She should not have to do all the stuff that she has to do. Right? Things like that.
I got it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, I don't like that answer. I want another one.
Well, you are welcome not to like the answer, too.
No, I know. I hear the answer loud and clear.
We are happy whether you hear our answers or not.
That's limitless.
Yeah. We are happy whether there is one person in this room, whether it's just us talking to ourselves, or if there's a billion people in the room. It doesn't matter. It's exactly the same.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We are very welcome.
Okay, I will.
Woohoo!
I'm up next.
Before anyone else answers your questions.
Before anyone else. I have a couple I don't know that I would have gotten the answer from someone else, but we'll find out.
Excellent.
What you just said about shoulders, I had a spinal fusion when I was 22, and the same concept that I hold back. So I had the back.
Mm-hmm.
That was brought to my attention 10 or 15 years ago in a different setting, a class.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about that one a lot. Question about my mother. When I would sleep in the same room with her, she would talk in the only way I can describe it, in tongue. It was a language that I'm sure is not of this earth.
She was speaking while she was sleeping.
Yes. She never knew she was doing it. I heard her. My sister heard her. What was that?
Did you ever record her?
I did get a tape recorder, and she wouldn't turn it on.
It was Swahili.
So it never happened.
Swahili.
It was Swahili.
When you are sleeping, you are in another world. You are in the non-physical. And you are playing out these dynamics of what's happening in the physical world in your day. And the way it gets brought back to you in your dreams is from your human perspective. You can't understand the difference that the non-physical is compared to the physical. The non-physical is completely limitless and completely expanded, but you have a limited perception of reality. And so all that is downloaded back into you, and your mind turns it into being naked in a room, driving down the road, being with people you haven't seen for a long time, whatever it is, right? Trying to put it into a human perspective. And so in the non-physical, as the dream is being downloaded, it can come out in completely different ways for different people. It has nothing to do with it. So it's not like she was speaking a different language that she knew. It was like she was practicing a different way of being in the non-physical. And as she comes back, she now gets to try that out or not. And the issue is that when she wakes up, does she instantly adopt the thoughts that she had before she went to bed, the fears and the frustrations and the worry, or does she start the day brand new? Okay, so let's talk about you. When you sleep and when you have dreams and when you wake up in the morning, do you set intentions before you go to sleep for what you're going to dream about? Do you perceive the dream to feel good or feel bad in the morning? Do you remember any of your dreams? And then when you wake up in the morning, do you say, oh, I have to get this done, I got to think about this bill to pay, I got to worry about this thing to do? Or do you say, today is a limitless day, I can do whatever I want? So if you can get into this idea that you can intend everything you want to happen. So before you go to sleep, as we said the other day, you can intend to sleep well, to work out whatever issues there were in the non-physical, to download that information in a way that's supporting, loving, and helpful, and to wake up. And when you wake up, you can intend, I'm going to enjoy this day. I'm not going to worry about things I have to do. This is a brand new day. I can choose to be anything I want to be in this day. I can make it whatever I want to make it in this day. This day is a fresh start. This day is a new life. We like the analogy that a human life is like a day in your life. You can do whatever you want in the day. At the end of the day, you return to non-physical, and you start a brand new day. Now, in this physical reality, you remember yesterday, because if you didn't, it would be hard to continue along this path that you've chosen to explore in this lifetime. You don't remember your past lives, but you remember, because that would be a distraction, obviously. You would carry all that baggage with you from the past lives. You would think you'd have to correct things you did in the past lives, which you don't have to do. You can do whatever you want in this life, right? And tomorrow, you can do whatever you want to do. And when you land on that shore tomorrow, you can perceive it any way you want to perceive it. You can completely obliterate any negativity or anything you think is wrong. And you can instantly accept that everything is perfect. So make that your intention. When you dock tomorrow, when you wake up in the morning, when you step off this boat, that this land is a new land, that this earth is a new earth. And this earth can be anything I want it to be. And as it unfolds, it is perfect in every moment and getting better and better and better. And the less resistance you have to what's going on, the easier you make it your path to unfold. Okay, when we say the word path, it's not as if you have something you have to get done in this life. What you're doing is just enjoying life and practicing allowing your desires to unfold without doing anything other than maintaining alignment with your inner self's perspective. So in essence, that means all your work is to see everything and everyone as perfect. Allow everyone, including yourself, to be however you want them to be, however they are being, without judging them or saying that they could be better than they are, right? And feeling good. And as you feel good, the phone's going to ring. You're going to notice stuff. You're going to think about things. You're going to have a nephew who calls you and tells you about something, which will change your life, which will introduce you to a new group of people that you had never met before, that will cause you to have new desires. And you just let it unfold. Everything's right. It's all going to be right. You have the desire to do the one-on-one. We say there's a huge waiting list. You say, shucks, but that's right too, right? That's perfect.
It's give me time to get a lot of questions together.
Absolutely. Or whatever it is. Yeah. So we didn't answer anything about your question about dreams.
No, I noticed that. I'm going, okay.
Because that doesn't matter. None of that mattered. None of that mattered, yeah. What matters is this moment, today. Yeah. Nothing that happened in your past was wrong. It was all perfect because you ended up here. Had anything been different in your past, well, you wouldn't be here right now. And right now, from this point, when you land on that shore, you can make it whatever you want to make it. And if something happened in the past that you think is wrong, that you did, well, that's regret, and release it. If you think something happened in the past that was wrong that someone else did, well, that's resentment, but what they did was perfect. What you did was perfect. It all worked out perfectly. What's going to happen in the future? Who cares? Who cares? You can't even imagine what the future is going to hold. Who cares? It's all up to you anyway. The future is never going to come because it's always the present moment.
Well, then I have no more questions because my questions were about things in the past.
Yeah. So everything in the past was perfect. Mm-hmm. Here's what we would say. If you think that you could change something in the past, think of a thing that you could change in the past, right? Pick some moment in the past that you think could have been different. Gary can pick one out. He would have said, don't buy that property and sell this property at this time, right? If you can just do those two things. Well, if that had happened, he might have had money, but he wouldn't be here. And where would you rather have him be? Where would he rather be? He would have been grinding out the same old life, trying to get satisfaction out of material things, playing with this idea of abundance and lack, of appreciation and confidence, of love and fear, without reaching a state of bliss where he is now, where every moment he's doing what he wants to do, the height of his passion, and expanding that passion, as you can see right now. So think of a moment that could have changed and say, if that moment didn't change, it could have been super bad. Thank God that happened, because it brought you right here.
Right.
Yeah. Because if it was the way you wanted it to be, well, you could be dead. You could be driving along and a deer goes right into your windshield. You don't know. But then that wouldn't be bad either. Except for the deer. That wouldn't be bad either. Yep.
Yeah, I really get that.
Yep.
That all of these events have led me to where I am. Turned right instead of left.
Yeah.
Went straight instead of going.
They were all right. They were all right
the
turns.
corner. Yeah.
All the turns were right turns.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only thing that resentment or regret of the past does is muddle the enjoyment of the moment. The only thing that worry about the future does is muddle the enjoyment of the moment. Yep. And so when you can give all that up, then you can feel good, then you can receive inspiration, and then you can go to the step one.
It's easy to get it in concept. It's a little more difficult to do it daily. So I'm working on it.
Yeah. Did you learn to walk in a day?
Probably not.
Did you learn to run a business when you were your first day starting it? Did you learn anything in a day? It's all a process of learning and practice. And you've gone a lifetime living an approach to life that said that things had to be good so that I could feel good. And now you're changing that approach to, I'm feeling good so I can bring more good feeling things to me. Mm-hmm. So you're giving up the control and you let Jesus drive the car. Take the wheel.
So we'll just skip the other two questions because...
Let's hear them.
Oh.
Let's see how they play out.
Well, this one is really strange, and I'll try to keep it
You're
short.
talking to someone who says we, and you think your question is going to be strange?
Yes, you're right. Rose and I had this experience. We were driving from Hard Rock in Tampa, and we were more than 15, 20 minutes from where we left, and a car passed me so fast on the right that it hadn't been doing 90 miles an hour. And then he went towards we were in the center lane. He went towards the divider, then apparently changed his mind and started the other direction, which caused him to go into a spin. Now, I'm slowing down. I have a small soft top sports car, so anything that was happening really was more frightening than if we had more protection.
Sure.
So, in trying to keep this shorter, he now heads, and I'm slowing down, but I'm not stopping. We're slowing down watching. What is this going to happen? What's happening next? He heads now for the divider, and it's at a point where the metal or whatever, concrete, whatever keeps you from going into the other lane is almost ground level because it's a ditch. And he goes into that. I thought he was going to go right through into the oncoming traffic. Instead, he hits this divider, and this is where it starts to become impossible. His car, instead of just bounding back, went straight up in the air, at least 30 feet, which is impossible. I mean, when I look at it from my reality, it was impossible. He did a 180 in the air, came down on the roof, right in front. All this is happening right in front of us. And at the time, I wasn't maybe 30 feet from it, but it's all playing out in a space of time that was impossible. And I turned to the left to go around him this way. Unfortunately, she saw him in the road. He had been thrown out of the car and yelled not to go that way. And I was able to turn and go the other. I couldn't have done all that in 30 feet. I could not have. We pulled over, called 911. And then there was a big truck coming, so we proceeded to get out of the way. I don't remember how far we traveled. It must have been 10, 15 minutes at least. And we both saw exactly the same thing. Usually when you see an event, you have a little different, exactly the same. No cars came behind us, so I figured they were all stopped by this accident. It was never in the paper. We called the police the next day to find out what had happened. There was no record of it. There was no record of it. It was like it didn't happen in this universe.
Well, we will start by saying that this is all an illusion, right? That you are pre-programmed to perceive things as real because that's fun. But you can leave your body and still have your consciousness float through reality. You can do a million things. There's no substance to this. There's protons and neutrons, and there's infinite space within those molecules. It is an illusion. And there's things happening all the time that you can't explain. And the more you are open to that, the more things like this that you can't explain, right? This conversation doesn't even make sense, does it? Coming from non-physical to physical, in a way that you're sitting here actually believing that someone is bringing intelligence from somewhere else through there. And what's making you believe that this is real, right? Because they believe it, because you believe it, because this person believes it, right? And what makes you believe that that can't happen, that what you saw can't happen? And what makes you believe that you can't control the stars with your eyes? It's all possible, it's all perceptual, and anything can happen. And what you're really doing is you're moving from dimension to dimension. You are not moving from this spot to that spot by walking there. You are passing through 1 billion different dimensions to get there. And so something that can happen in one dimension doesn't happen in the other dimension. And so all you did was shift dimensions. You shifted out of a reality where that happened into a reality where that did not happen. Is that weird?
No.
What's weirder? To think that you know that time doesn't exist, but this idea of time in a sequential thing is really what you're doing is one dimension that feels like this, moving into another dimension that feels like this, 1,000,000 times a second. And it gives you the idea of space, and it gives you the idea of time, this sense of time, this illusion of time, but it's all illusion. You're just moving dimension, dimension, dimension. So, if you were talking about space travel or time travel, if you knew the vibration of that chair 10 minutes ago, you could sync up to that vibration and be there 10 minutes ago. Instantly. Because it's just another dimension. There's a dimension that exists where you are living in a different house. There's a dimension that exists where you're still driving a bus around, a mobile home around. There's a dimension that exists that's every possibility.
So those are all happening at the same time, and I'm only
there's no time.
This person's body right now is only experiencing this one, and the others I'm not experiencing at this time.
Right, because your consciousness is in this one right now.
Those are hard concepts.
Yeah, they're hard concepts, but it goes to explain that anything's possible, that you can literally have, be, or do anything you want, and that you have millions of non-physical entities looking out for you and guiding you into realities that are a match to your vibration and to what you really want.
Was there a message there? I kept feeling like there was a message that whether we shifted dimensions or whatever, because I have talked to other people and those suggestions have been made that we left this dimension, that it was.
So what would that message be?
If anything, it was so easily, we could have died in that situation, because when that car was up there, it should have come down on top of us, but it landed in front of us and it didn't make sense.
So
it was a message that it's time to change your life.
Time to change dimensions.
Well, I didn't get that one, but okay.
Well, you did get that because other people have told you that it's dimension changing. So it's time to open your beliefs, time to realize that there are non-physical entities taking care of you, time to believe that you are living in a loving and supportive universe, that it's your choice whether you come or go, your choice to be under that car or not, your choice to go into any reality that you want, your choice to do these sort of things, to be interested in this sort of information that you've always been interested in, your choice to play with it in physical reality while other people are stubbornly looking ahead and believing that the earth is flat, or believing that what they see is real.
Wow.
Believing anything you want to believe. But when you open the possibilities that you are being taken care of in every moment, that you are loved and supported by this universe, that you have the ultimate choice of everything that happens, that you are completely in control of your reality, that you create your reality, and that you can see evidence that shows you this if you look at it. Or you can stubbornly believe that things are going wrong and that you're a victim of fate. So which do you choose? Which reality do you choose?
Not the victim of fate.
You choose the one where you have the responsibility to create your own reality, which means that this is all created by you. That you created all this.
I brought you all here.
You sure did. And how you perceive that as a good thing or a bad thing is completely unique to you. And that perception adds to the collective perception of the universe. And without your perception, the universe would be missing a piece. And the universe can't be missing anything. So your piece of the universe is equal to everyone else's piece of it too. Which means that you are perfect. And so is everyone else. And without you, the universe is less than. And without everyone else, the universe is less than. But the universe is a whole, because guess what? Okay, we're going to give you a big moment here. We are all one.
We had the discussion. That's a hard one. But I got clearer on it because of the missing piece, then it wouldn't be all one.
Mm-hmm. And we're all, in this room, eternally connected. And we all play these roles.
It's incredible, actually, this feeling that this was all, that I was on a path. I always kind of look at it as a funnel, that it's all out here, but it keeps narrowing and narrowing, and the direction keeps getting more focused. And that's what this all came together for all of us that are here today, the small group that you wanted to be your first.
Yeah, exactly. The small group that Gary wanted to
gathering.
Be where he can see and understand the love that is here and the acceptance that is here. And from that, then he can allow the next step one to happen.
The expansion that will come.
That might come.
Might come.
If he chooses to feel worthy enough.
Okay.
Right.
The last question is something that Diane brought up, and you answered it, but I still feel it's the stars. It's like I've been looking at stars my entire life, but a year and a half or so ago, Mimi came to my condo, and we went out on the balcony, and she had me look up into the stars and kind of said, "What do you see?" And for the first time, there was a few of them dancing. I mean, they were doing circles and moving, and it's like, I never saw it before. Why am I seeing it now?
Well, let us stop you.
Okay.
Because now that's just crazy talk.
And we would not want crazy talk here.
So you're saying that you can drive down the road, have a car pass you, have it swerve around, have it hit a divider, have it shoot 30 feet in the air, have you somehow be beamed out to a new reality, but you don't think you can move a few stars around with your eyes?
Oh, I'm moving them. They're not dancing to acknowledge that
you're creating your own reality.
They're there for me. I know they're there for me.
They're there for you. And you're creating that reality. Mm-hmm. And you get to create whatever reality you want to create. And other people get to believe that that's a bunch of hooey. That's fine too. And other people can look and not create it because to them it would be too scary. It would cause them fear. And they rather feel safe.
So the fact that I had been looking at the stars all my life and had never seen this movement, and now I did. It was just the time.
Just a belief. You believe that the stars are fixed there, and that each star was a sun, and that each star existed sometime in the past, and what you were taught in school, and what you heard them say, and then someone comes over who you respect and gives you a new belief. So the previous belief was limiting, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The new belief is empowering, isn't it? The new belief you accepted. And as soon as you accepted the new belief, you dropped a few limitations. And you saw what you saw. And then you perceived it in a way that was empowering to you.
Are they the stars, or are they like starships, like another from another dimension or another whatever up there watching out for us?
What would you
Which do
prefer?
I want to choose?
What would be more empowering?
The second one. They're
There you
there to protect us.
There you go. Exactly. And how would they protect you?
I just feel that they're there watching me and taking care of me.
Watching
and
you, watching the earth, watching
not
to
just
make
me.
sure
I just happen to
the animals,
spot
watching
'em.
everyone, making sure that no one launches a nuclear weapon, making sure that everything is working out as it should be.
That is.
There is a lot of energy that is keeping this planet moving around. And you don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is worry about how you perceive everything as supportive of you, right? So that this universe was created for you specifically. And you are the center of your universe. And it's all to let you and all of you achieve a reality that you want. It's all available. And that is the new approach to life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to take a turn.
Let's do it.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you asked questions, Drew. I said I'm glad you asked your questions, all of them, even the ones that you weren't going to. I'm crying, I guess, because I'm overwhelmed. Because, like, when I was sitting over there listening, since I had some resistance to being here today, because I already have, like, I'm accessing a lot. And so sitting over there, when I'm listening and I'm just tuned in, then I'm getting even more, like an infinite amount of it. And I could feel myself, what I thought was nodding off. And then I would come back worried about everybody looking, what's it going to look like if I'm sleeping? And then in the course of answering those questions, you talked about consciousness leaving your body. And that's what was happening. And then that clicked with me that I've had a history of passing out just randomly, and realized things are just clicking, boom, 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 and it's good. And other things, so the stars and the car on this cruise, impossible things are happening left and right for me. And I'm at a point where I just appreciate it. I don't need to know why. I don't care why, because it's so great that it's here for me right now. So last night I was doing what I love to do. Frank told me from Star Trek, the more complex the mind, the bigger the need for simple play. And I've just felt like I had a lot of complexity. Even here, and so the past 2 nights I've just gone dancing, because that's what I love to do, because all I'm doing is listening to the music, and if I'm in my body, I'm just feeling it, and it feels so good, and then I choose to. That's why I don't look people in the eyes a lot, because when I look somebody in the eye, I'm connecting, and that's really intense. And so when I'm dancing, just feeling the music, just feeling my body, feeling myself, and then I'll look up, and then I'll connect with somebody, and for that moment, and then I choose whether or not I want to engage, but. So I've been dancing, and I had a couple glasses of wine and decided I wanted water, and then went to the bar to get water, and the line was too long. And so I was inspired to stay and get water, but then I told myself, no, it's too long. I don't want to, all these things. And so I ended up leaving and going to sit down and smoke a cigarette. There was nobody with me. And then the young people that have been around just showing up whenever is perfect. One of them, a girl that I talked to a few nights ago that I could have judged for things that she was doing that night when she'd had a lot to drink, but we've connected. She shows up and she complimented my bracelet. And I said, oh, you know what? I have 2 more. What's your favorite color? Because I got 4 of them, which was not something that I would normally do. And I bought 2 he put them all on my arm. And we had this fantastic conversation. And I got the 2 that felt like me. And then a while later, he circled back around and he said, oh, I just found 2 more colors. And I wasn't drawn to them for me, but it just, without thinking, I'll take them, which is big for me because I'm in abundance and all these things. But anyway, so she sits down, she compliments my bracelet. I'd say, I have these 2 bracelets. Would you like one of them? Like, I didn't have them with me, but I was just telling her about them. I said, what's your favorite color? Would you like black or pink? She was like, oh, no. And I was like, no, I think it's for you. And she pulls this out of her bag and presses it into my hand and says, only if you take this. It's selenite. It's calming. Every song that I've heard on this boat has had something to do with love. All of these things. And I was like, I wasn't intoxicated, but I was feeling the effect of the alcohol, and I was wanting to feel grounded, and I wanted water. And even though I ignored that inspiration to get the water there, and maybe I would have connected with her somewhere, it doesn't even matter. But so she hands it to me, and I put it in my hand, and I just felt grounded. I felt calm. And then she pulls out some other crystals from her purse and asked me to put my energy into those. And I could feel it, and I did it. And I just said, thank you so much for this. Like, I was sitting here, and I was just wanting to feel grounded, and I was just wanting a drink of water. She pulls a water bottle out of her bag and hands it to me. So, like, I'm overwhelmed right now, and all I want to do is go play. And I don't want to be clipping the microphone and, like, going out of myself because I don't.
I'll click the microphone for you.
Thank you. It just gets overwhelming, and I know that it's just like fear and like my human perspective coming back in, and I just want to do what feels good. Because when I'm doing what feels good, shit like this happens. All cruise long, I'm walking and I can't find where I'm going, but I just relax and I just stop and I'll think, oh, where am I going? Where do I need to be? Should I, and start that. But I don't even get that far now. I'm like, where am I going? And then if I don't know, I'm like, maybe I should ask somebody. And I'm like, I'm self-contained. And so then I just stop. I did this when I was trying to find a taxi coming back from the beach. I did my step 1, go to the bathroom. Step 1, wash hands. Step 1, and then step 1, start walking. And so then I had the thought, maybe I should ask someone. And then I had the thought, I'm self-contained. This direction feels good. I'm walking past the bar. I happen to look over and make eye contact with the guy who was working the beach, like set up our umbrellas and all that. And he looks at me and I say, do you know where I could find a taxi? He points and goes, man in the orange shirt, ask him, he'll help you. And so then I walk that way. I say to that man, I was told to talk to you about a taxi. It's a large black man with other, and he said, you want to go by yourself? And I said, yeah. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And he said, $20. And I said, okay. And he looks around, goes like this. This wonderful little woman named Sonia comes over and he says, she'll be your driver. And then we have the most incredible conversation. I don't know. It's just things like that. That's what happens for me when I feel good. And so even though I know that like I'm experiencing fear right now because I'm overwhelmed by all of because I'm having this in my own head and then it's the same thing. Like Gary and Joshua are the same. We're all the same. But when I'm having everything that I'm having in my head and then sitting here and like tuning into, it just feels like a lot. I just want to go play. So.
Well, you're here to play.
Yeah.
And this is the result of the one-on-one. So be prepared. So you start at one level down here, and could you have seen
No.
where you were going to go?
No.
Did you imagine where you were, that you'd be here?
I didn't know it was possible.
But we told you it was possible the whole time,
Yeah.
right? And so the vibration that you're at now is so high. Can you see a year from now?
It's overwhelming. I just want to go play.
So the crying part is coming from step 50.
Okay.
Step one. And you will catch up to your vibration. So your vibration is this dip, this rise, this leveling off, and for you, this bounce. And then you'll go to this place, you'll catch up, you'll be easy about it, you'll be aware, you'll be happy, you'll think differently, thoughts will come to you, it'll be easy, you'll go like this for a while, stuff will start happening, you'll figure shit out, and you'll have another one. And then you'll catch up to that, things will be calm, and you'll have another one. And that's what you get used to on this ride. But you don't have to worry about it. It'll all unfold perfectly. So it is fun. This is a game. This is your game. You're allowing your game to unfold perfectly. You're playing it magnificently. And it is overwhelming only because your beliefs are shifting. That's the only reason. Your beliefs are shifting because you never thought it would happen to you. Gary never thought it would happen to him. Gary did something different than you. He hid it from everyone for years. Only let the closest people in the beginning. Thought it was weird, but enjoyed it. And you get a chance to share it with this group of young people that magically appeared for you, as if out of nowhere. Excellent.
One other thing. So I guess I'm talking, and talking is play for me. So that's finding the joy where I'm at. So one other thing that just happened right before I came here. So I've been hanging out with these young people, and one of the fears that's been like in the very back of my mind, because I'm enjoying myself so much, is what are people thinking? You know, here I am, who I am, sitting with these people, you know, from a 16-year-old, like they're ranging in age from 16 to 22. And from the outside looking in, I can understand why other people might not understand why a person like me would be spending time.
Who would, I'm not understanding. People here?
I don't know. It doesn't even matter.
But just imagine. Let's just play with that idea.
I wasn't worried about the people here.
Right. So the
like
people
outside.
The people outside, if they notice you,
right,
they are going to think you're the same age as them.
Yeah. That's something that I noticed, or understood. That's part of why I chose this body. That's part of why I look young, is because I'm supposed to be connecting with younger people. The same thing. That's what I connect with. And so I realized that I'm confident in who I am and what I'm doing, and I know all these things about myself, and so it doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking and all this process in my head that I went through. So I've just been doing it. Whenever I want to hang out with them, I do. And then the next level fear is their parents, in particular their moms. These boys' moms, you know. And one of them introduced me to his mom, and I saw the fear instantly in her eyes. And I looked in her eyes and I asked her name, and then when I left, I looked her in her eyes and I told her to have a good day, you know. But still it was in the back of my mind. And then another one, so that was yesterday, and then another one today, right before I was coming here. I saw him, he was walking with his mom, and he said, and so I felt that tiny bit of fear, you know, and he comes up and he says, "Kyla, this is my mom." And we shook hands. I saw the fear in her eyes. And then this kid says, "This is Kyla. She's my spiritual and emotional guide." And his mom just looked bewildered, you know, and because I was wearing this, but without the leggings. So I'm, you know, I can imagine how I might feel in that situation if my sons came up to me, not knowing what I know. So
just remember, though, what you saw in her eyes was you, not her. You can only make up what you see in her eyes. And this is one of these little recurring themes that you have.
Right.
Right. So all that is just this illusion that you're habitually tied to, that you can break through. What you could do is choose to see that they may not get it now, but when those kids go off this boat and their reality changes as a result of you, they can look back at this time and know that you were this catalyst for them to make this great change towards consciousness. So that's your choice, when you look at anyone's eyes.
Right.
You can look at the kid's eyes and perceive them as if they're having life-altering conversations with you, which is how we perceive you, or you can perceive that their parents have fear. And it doesn't matter either way. You can do it if you want to, but you have that choice because you are creating this reality.
Yeah.
And that's how you create it, by how you choose to perceive how people perceive you.
Right. And I know, like, and so I had that fear. And so just like with the other mom, I looked her in her eyes and I connected, and like, I was just me, and asked her her name and told her I told her my name. And yeah.
Yeah. And when you approach this with confidence, confidence is love, and you can accept her however she is. If you feel that she feels fear, that's you feeling the fear that she feels. It may not be there, it may be there, it doesn't matter, but you can allow her to be however she is, knowing fully well that what you are offering is of benefit. It's of the most amazing benefit. Can you even have a glimpse of the magnificence that is you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can now. Did you have a glimpse of the magnificence that is you sitting now 6 months ago?
I mean, no. I thought that I did, but no.
Right. Yeah. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is but a tiny fraction of who you really are.
It's crazy.
It seems crazy, but it's not that crazy. It seems crazy when a car launches itself up and then people beam into another dimension. But as Mimi offered a new look at the stars, we offered you a new look at yourself. And you allowed us to convince you of your magnificence. And then you just naturally went with the belief that we offered to you. You allowed it to happen, and here you are. Would you like to go back to where you were? This is pretty good, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so why are you crying?
Release.
Should be giggling. Giggling and giddy, because it's wonderful.
I could be giggling.
You could be giggling.
I think I'm done.
Excellent. Astrid, do you have a birthday question?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Astrid. Your millions are singing right now.
Are they?
Like a chorus of angels.
Yeah. So I had 3 questions, but I can only remember 2. And I want to say it straight away so you can remember. Why do I always feel so sleepy when you're here? And do you have a special birthday message for me?
Ooh.
And I can't remember the 3rd. Okay, yeah.
What year is this for you?
What year? The new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first year.
This is the first year.
Yeah.
And in this first year, who are you going to be in this first year?
The superstar.
And what does a superstar mean to you?
Power.
What does power mean to you?
That's me.
You are power.
Yeah.
So you are going to let your natural power be shown to the world, or to those around you, or to whoever you encounter.
How do I do that?
How would you do that? How can you do that? How could you show your power?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, could you show your power by not saying anything, not connecting with anyone, not being the magnificence that is you? Or you show your power by courageously going forth and living as an example of alignment and allowing whoever comes to you to come to you because they seek what you have to offer. And instead of possibly not believing that they're there for you, this year you're going to start to believe that they are there for you. That the reason they exist in your reality is for you. And the reason you exist in their reality is for them.
So talk more to people, is that it?
Talk more to people who come to you. Listen more to people who come to you. Be interested more in people because there's something for you. you had an idea that sometimes people are boring.
Yeah.
And that is a previous life. The new life, you are going to see the magnificence that everyone is. And if they have something to say, there's something in it for you. And as you bring forth more and more and more, as you become curious, as you look and listen and hear what they're saying and cut through the bullshit of what they're saying and get interested in what can be there, that's when your power is going to come out.
Okay, so I don't necessarily have to say anything. I can just listen.
You can listen, and then you
Yeah.
can receive inspiration, and then you can push past the fear of saying something, and you can say it. And you can be vulnerable, as Kyla just exposed herself here to everyone. You can be more like that. The things that you have sometimes not liking Kyla is because some of the things that she is something that you think your belief system is awkward or reprehensible or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And you say that that's not how I would want to be.
Yeah.
Right? But the reason you think it's not a good thing is because secretly there's something in there that you wish you could be a little bit more like that.
Okay.
Not all the way like that,
Yeah.
but a little more like that. And if you can be open to exposing yourself, you chose this culture where this culture is modest and private and secret. And here you're exposed to someone who is completely open and unapologetically authentic to an extent which gives you discomfort, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that you're in this together is that she's displaying that there can be a little bit more to that. And when you can go into that side of it a little bit more and open up a little more, then your power will come forth naturally. Not the same power she has, but it's there. You didn't get here by accident.
Well, I don't have a message.
You don't think you have a message. That's the whole problem. When you see a conversation that you have with someone where you feel boredom, you are not inspired. And this year, you're going to open yourself up to this inspiration that's available for you. You're going to have access to the same intelligence that Gary has, that Kyla has, that a lot of people have. You're going to have access to that when you can feel confident that your power is there for everyone and that you don't have to worry about what you say, because what you say will always be perfect for the person who somehow made it into your vibrational vicinity. It's no accident that they're there. It's no accident who your roommate is. It's no accident who this group is, right? It's no accident who you sit next to here or at dinner or wherever, right? Right. You don't find Wendy boring.
Oh, sometimes I
And when you have a conversation with her, you don't worry that what you're going to say is going to offend her or she's going to think you said something inappropriate. You have access to this intelligence, so what you're saying is coming straight from your millions, your inner self, higher intelligence, infinite intelligence, the same energy that comes through. But it will come through you in your way. You know, and you can do with that what you want to. And there's no rush.
Yeah.
And come out whenever you want. But the more you see yourself as perfect, the more you see yourself as appropriate, as great as you are, as powerful, the more confidence you'll feel, and the easier that connection will be. The more you think of yourself as others, as having issues, then the more you'll disconnect from that consciousness.
Okay.
So do you feel more confident, more able to be yourself, be authentic around people?
Yeah, because, this is going to come out wrong, but when I see other people that I thought was perfect, I see they have issues, and it makes my issues seem easier, or like not any worse than others.
Okay, so everyone is perfect as they are, and their flaws are part of their perfection.
Yeah.
But there are no flaws, because the flaws are judgments based in fear.
Yeah.
So when Gary says that his eyebrows aren't perfect, well, we'd have to agree there.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Yeah.
So when he paints them on, or when Lily paints them on and they go out to dinner, then he gets to be who he is. Because he erase the illusion of that flaw. So any flaw that you perceive in yourself or others is an illusion.
Yeah.
Because everyone's perfect as they are. And everything is perfect as they are.
So do I have to focus on my next step one, or can I just allow it to be delivered?
Allow it to be delivered.
Good.
The only thing you focus on is seeing yourself and everyone else as perfect.
Okay.
Can you see your mother as perfect?
No.
Yes. That is a difficult one. It's difficult when the people are close to you to see them as perfect. Can you see yourself as perfect?
No.
You have this mix of humor and beauty and charisma and intelligence and decorum and organization and self-doubt and fear and all these other things, right?
Yeah.
That combine to make you so unique that this has never existed before in the history of the world and never will again. And it is so perfect because how you are perceiving the world and how you are changing in every moment is adding to the infinite base of the universe. And it is perfect as it is. And we would have you be no different than you are right now. And there is no way that you can get better than this. It's not possible. You can evolve to a different version of you, but you will never be better than you are right now. Ever.
Yeah.
So you are perfect. There's nothing for you to change in order for you to feel good. You are self-contained. Everything that you want to explore in this reality is within. And you just have to figure out a way to change those beliefs so that you see the stars, so you see the car shooting up, so that you can jump into a dimension where you feel better about yourself and you allow things to unfold. Because what you want to unfold is not going to unfold if you keep these fears and these limiting beliefs going. You have to come to some understanding that there's nothing wrong with you, that you're perfect as you are, and that there's nothing that can be changed to make you better. And the only thing that's limiting you is irrational fear, which causes self-doubt, which makes you think that people are boring, which makes you want to tune us out, which makes you feel a little tired.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And so when we say you're perfect, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear that if you change this, this, and this, then you'll be perfect. Right? And so there's something you can do to get to be perfect.
Yeah.
And once you're perfect, you'll feel good. Right?
Yeah.
But you're perfect now. So all you can do is feel good now. That's the only thing. That's the only thing you can do is feel good now. Feel good now in the perfection and uniqueness that is you.
Okay, and can I outsource too much? Because they're working really good, and today they did all these special things, and I guess I like outsourcing. Can I outsource anything?
You can outsource everything.
Okay, good.
The only thing that you can't outsource is feeling good. Because you are in control of how you feel.
So I don't really have to focus. I can just...
You can go down the hall, outsource that you want an elevator to come on the glass size. You can outsource that the pancakes will come in right on.
And the mimosa.
And the single. But then when the second mimosa comes, right, you don't think that that's a bad thing. You just think, hey, it's there if I want it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That was the birthday message too? Did I ask what you wanted me to ask?
There's
yesterday?
still more stuff coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's more and more and more.
Yeah.
And you can outsource it all. The only thing you have control over and charge over, the only thing you have to do is feel good and perceive everything is happening for you and nothing's happening to you.
But I think I'm doing a lot better though.
We are amazed.
Yeah.
We are amazed.
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm done.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Deborah Joe.
I'm hugging you today.
You're hugging us.
I'm hugging you guys and maybe girls. Just a quick question. When you were talking about these shifts of energy that are happening to us, the ones in the one-on-one seem to have it going really up and down, and they feel really bad when they feel really bad and really good when they feel really good. We were talking earlier in the group that people are getting sick. Like their physical bodies are having some issues, some aches, some pains that are not normally evident to us in our normal everyday lives. But on this cruise, it's been happening like that. Is that because of the energy shifts? And what can we do to alleviate that.
You can catch up to the vibration.
Okay.
That's all it is. So you come into this environment with this, we will say, lower energy.
Uh-huh.
And then you are bursted with our energy.
Uh-huh.
Right. And that sometimes that's a little too much. You are used to a certain level of energy, and then when you feel it rising, you want to put a lid on it and hold it down, and there's this conflict that goes on inside, and that manifests itself as seasickness or whatever little thing there is.
So we just wait.
Sunburn on Gary.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So we just wait to catch up?
Catch up to it, right.
Now, you also say that we choose our parents, our time of being born. Do we choose our death time and type of death before we come?
No,
or when we're here?
When you're here, right.
And how do we pre-pave that so it can be what we want for transition?
Do you know the vibration that you will be on the date of your death?
No.
So how can you know how you will want to go?
Well,
Can you trust?
I think I want to go in a blaze of glory.
You know that now, right? Right. Would you like to go in a blaze of glory with others?
Yes, Frank.
Okay. Frank, you better leave now.
No,
How about the rest of the group?
No, just Frank.
She's on her own.
No, I'm only concerned.
So no one's going to fly with you ever again.
Oh.
Yeah. You do not know what you will know when you know what you want tomorrow. You will be a completely different person tomorrow. You will be a completely changed person tomorrow. And from tomorrow, you'll make a decision about what you want then. And then when the time comes, you will be at the vibration that works for you then. So we say that in this moment, do you want to die or are you happy being here?
Oh, I'm super happy being
here. So that's all you have to worry about.
Okay.
And in the next moment, you can think about the same thing.
Okay.
Okay? So pre-pave your moment by saying, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be here. And then you'll experience whatever it is you're experiencing, and then one day you'll say, I'm happy to be elsewhere.
Okay. Super simple.
Super simple.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you before you go. Thank you so very much for allowing that. I mean, I'm so grateful to Gary for allowing, but so grateful for you coming to us. It's just a marvelous event, and it's just so life-changing and so life-altering in such a magnificent and spectacular way. We appreciate it so, so much.
Well, it's a little silly from our side for you to be thanking us, because without you, we would not be here. And this is our favorite place to be.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're going to be sick tomorrow.
No. Okay, thanks. I'm going to hurry up because I want to hear other people, but I do have some very pressing questions.
Yes, no, no, yes, yes.
That sort of doesn't work. She's moving back. I'm moving Okay, thank you. So I wrote them down. You mentioned that there were things that Gary, if he had done them differently, wouldn't have had this experience, like the two properties. And my thoughts were, well, hold on. If he'd done the two properties, this could still have happened, but in a different way. Like, there are thousands of different paths to take us to this one path. So, because what I was hearing when you were saying that was there was this right way and this wrong way, or to doubt, or to, etc. And it was like, I can just forget about that and just be in the moment.
So what we're talking about is when you look at the past that has already happened, whatever has happened has brought you here to this moment. And that if anything had happened differently, you would not be here in this moment. Now, when you go forth to the next moment and you have a decision to make, both decisions are right because they will bring you to what you are vibrating. Okay. But the vibrations will change based on your desires that you've birthed. Right. And so the desire was altered by the loss of everything. And the desire was now completely to get back, right? And so the way in was through the secret. The way in was through Abraham. And then once Abraham happened, the beliefs changed. And then all of a sudden he could see that things are different than how he believed them. And they're still changing now, every day. And so now this happens, right?
But if he'd done the two-property thing, it would have happened another way. Something else would have happened to bring him to this place, potentially.
Something would have happened, but you would not be part of it. Right? Something would have happened, and maybe it would have been silent. Maybe it would have happened on his deathbed. Maybe he would have done something else. But this could not have happened. Now, the essence of what he wanted to get out of life was unfolding as he allowed it to unfold. And how it unfolded was perfect. So we don't want to give you this idea that there's a set path. We want to give you the idea there's a million paths, and that you allow it to happen. And so for Gary, he was pursuing what he thought he wanted rather than what he truly wanted, right? And so by losing what he thought he wanted, he gained what he truly wanted. And he may have gained that otherwise, but let's not worry about that, because he's here in this perfection of this moment, and this could not be better. Right? Because you wouldn't be here sitting right now, and this moment is perfect as it is. So we will say that every moment's perfect anyway, and had he not done this, it would have been perfect. And maybe he wouldn't have got this, it might have been something different. But let's just say that now he can release the resentment towards what happened, or release his guilt of allowing it to happen, his regret, right? And so as he can release that, then he can feel good, and then he can connect to us and talk to you. But if he felt bad about it, thought it was wrong, he'd be repeating that over and over and over again until he realized that it was right. As soon as he realizes it's right, he doesn't have to repeat it anymore. And now he can go on to the next step. And that's where he is now.
Okay, thank you. And the other
so did anything happen in your life that you thought it was wrong?
And I guess I'm just having a few issues with my sister right now. And I know she's perfect as she is, but I read a text that she posted today, and I'm worrying a bit about her. Sorry, I'm moving back. Is it wrong? No, I know it's perfect in theory, but I would like it to be different than it is.
And the reason you like it to be different was so you could feel better. Right. So how can you feel better?
I guess just by telling myself that it's perfect for her, that it's her path. She's getting what she needs and asked for and wanted out of it. It's none of my business.
She's birthing new desires.
We chose to come in together, which meant that I had something to get out of it too. All these things that I like, and to forget about.
You don't want to forget about her. No. You still want to mother her and take care of her and treat her like a child and have that dynamic that you chose to play in this role with her and explore that some more. But you don't want to save her. You don't want to create in her reality. You don't want her to be different than she is, because that would defeat the purpose of coming here, right? And so when you transition to the non-physical and you look back at this, you'll say, that was an amazing ride that we had together. And from you, I learned how to feel good despite my fear, because I learned how to talk to myself in an empowering way and take the fear one by one, realize it's irrational, realize that you're creating your own reality just as I was creating it, realize that I could deal with the fear that I had for you, and I could make myself feel good. And when I did that, I received inspiration. And the inspiration came to do what I did that one day. Remember that one day I did what I did? That came from this inspiration that I would not have received, I would not, unless I could realize how to feel good. And by you making me have to think about ways to feel good, it made it so much easier to think about the little stuff, right? If I can feel good about this, I can feel good about my boss, my job, my boyfriend, my apartment, my big ass TV, everything, right? So there is no issues. There's no boulders that you have to get out of the way. You just have to ease around them and find your way to float by them, right? Because you're not going to change her. Nope. And she's on this adventure,
Yes.
you know. Yeah. Yeah.
It's an adventure.
Yeah. And whatever happens will be good, because if she decides to make her transition, then it'll be a blink of an eye, you'll see her again. And the next time you'll come in, and then she'll play the role, and you'll be the crazy one.
Maybe it'll be good. Thank you. Last question. You talk about step one, and this is just for me. It works for everyone else, but I have a bit of trouble just with the phrase step one, because Abraham says step one, step two, step three. So I think about the Abraham step one, or the 12 steps say step 1, 2 to 12. So so I was wondering, how could I?
What's step one in the 12-step program?
It's admitting we were powerless and that our lives had become unmanageable.
How would you turn that around to make that statement more empowering for you?
Accepting that I'm powerful and that I'm being taken care of.
That you exist in a loving and supporting universe, and that you create your own reality. And that the reality that you created in the past was specifically designed so that you could get here now. Right? And now you are a different vibrational version of you than you were before. And now you can create the reality that you prefer. Right? Okay. What's step 2 in that?
Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Okay. So
power greater than ourselves, that's
is there a power greater than yourself?
listening to you. Yes and no.
You are the center of the universe, living in an environment that is supportive for you. There is no power greater than you. And there is nothing outside of yourself that can change yourself. Right? And all that is doing is giving you a belief that things can change, which is great. But now you have a different, even higher belief that you are in control of everything and how you perceive everything. And you are fully in control of whatever you want to do. So, Abraham is step 1, birth a desire. Right? Step 2, the universe does its job, so there's nothing for you to do. So really, there's no step 2, right? Step 3, allow it to come to you, right? So that's all step 1. That's all one step. It all happens like that, right? So if you are an allower and you birth a desire, then the only thing you can do is whatever is exciting to you in the moment. And that's step 1. And then you don't have to worry about any other steps, because you will be a different version of you at that step. Okay? And from that step, now you look around and you see, what can I want from here? And then you take another step. And you're not worrying about the outcome, and you're not worrying about 50 steps ahead. Right? So what do they really say in AA? You're only worrying about that day. And then the next day is another day, right? So you're only worrying about that step, and the next steps you'll get to when you get to it, right? Yeah. So there is only one step in anything. And as you realize that you are the most powerful thing in the universe, there is no power greater than you. There is a system in place, but there's not a power that's greater than you, because it has no ability to create in your reality. So if you're the only one who can create in your reality, then you're the only one with any power. You can allow people to influence you or not, but that's your choice. And therefore, you are in complete and utter control of everything that happens. And if you want to beam out of this reality to another reality, that's your perfectly acceptable way to do it. Or to stay with what you're doing, because you know what you're doing. And it's comfortable. And it works. Yeah.
So I could call step 1 the next most exciting thing.
The next most exciting thing. The next most interesting thing. The next most fun thing. The next most enjoyable thing. That's all. And if there's nothing exciting or enjoyable to do, then you sit down and watch your big ass TV until something comes with you. Yep.
My boss,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Someone in the back row, we feel. If it's you, stand up.
Ooh, back row. Somebody better stand up.
Maybe. You're perfect. You're perfect.
You're quite stunning.
And the camera's probably not even recording. Yeah. Yeah, scoot up a little because we're both sharing this microphone.
Thank you again, Joshua, and it's wonderful to have this second interview. And when I ask this question, I mean it very respectfully.
But who the hell do we think we are?
Yes. Yes.
Who are you?
Who are you?
We are a group of teachers. You are in the family of teachers. All of you are. You have somehow reached the vibration of us. Some amazing way. We can't even imagine how that happened. We are thrilled to be here. Our greatest joy is to share our perspective. We are not telling anyone what to do or how to live or anything. We're just showing you that there is a perspective from where we are of who you truly are, and we can see how you are limiting yourself through fear. And so our idea is to come forth and speak as one in a way to reduce the limitations of fear that you feel, and to show you that there's an illusion going on here, and that if you can see past that illusion, then you can reduce the limitations and step into your power, into the power that you want, into the greatest power that you can imagine, because it's fun and exciting and interesting and enjoyable. And you came here for joy and expansion. So everything you're going through now is perfect the way it is. And if you can learn to seek out that which you want, rather than fight against that which you do not want, you will move in this direction that you intended prior to your birth. And you will get more powerful, stronger, feel more, do more, contribute more, feel even better about that because you're being more, elevating, better and 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 dead.
Okay.
And then start over.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine you as 1/1,000,000th of 1% of who you really are. As powerful as you feel in what you do, imagine that you can expand far beyond your wildest dreams. Is that idea scary?
I never thought about it because it's scary.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so what would it mean for you to be 1,000 times more effective and powerful and larger than life and aware and tuned in and conscious? Right. It would be the spotlight on you. You would be possibly world famous. You would be in such high demand you wouldn't understand how to deal with it all. Right. You're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And yet that is just a tiny fraction of you. So when you can think of yourself in terms of this incredible magnificence that is yet to be reached, you can let it go and stop taking control of everything and let it unfold naturally by just focusing in the moment on what you want to do. Even though your life now seems hectic, a lot of it is clutter because you're trying to control things. So if you can let that go and just be your perfect, highest energy self, you are able to heal more people in the time this cruise takes than most doctors will in their entire career, right? So for you to be here and is quite a sacrifice.
It makes me want to cry. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Now imagine that you can be 10 times more effective than you are now, right? So then you'll never be able to go on a cruise.
Deborah Jo won't allow that. She'll make me go on a cruise.
Because as you come back and step on the shore, you are now 10 times more effective than you ever were. We are giving that to you now. When you step on that shore, it's a different reality. You are stepping on a new Florida. And when you go back into your office, it is a new office. And you are going to attract much greater awareness of what it is you can do, because your abilities are now going to be so much more enhanced. And you're going to have to figure out how to delegate yourself, right? Because you can't do it all, which means that you're going to have to come into the awareness that you are bigger than this one office. which means that you have to come into your awareness that you are a teacher, which means that you're going to have to expand, which means that your confidence in what you do has to evolve to the next level, right? So that you can be confident sharing it with others and showing them that your specific, unique way of doing it is mind-blowing and life-altering.
It's true. Yes.
Have you heard of John of God?
Yes.
So as people go to see John of God, he has all these other people who are prepping the beliefs of those people, prepping the beliefs, and they move through these stages. And he goes boom, 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 all day long, boom, boom, boom. They're going like on a shuttled in, boom, shuttled in, boom, shuttled in, boom. So while you're taking 10 minutes with somebody and doing some massive energy work, he's taking 10 seconds with somebody and doing some massive energy work, right? It's the same thing. Your approach to doing it is so original to this reality that you can't see it for what it really is.
That's true.
It is so next level. It is so unique. And now you are comfortable serving the people who come, building relationships, having friendships, but there's another level to that. And you'll figure that out by realizing the magnificence that is you.
I just have to wake up.
Well, you are awake, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
You are awake.
Okay.
You just have to see yourself as we see you.
Okay.
As a giant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, while I was listening in the audience before coming here, I kept hearing you, Joshua, E, O, U, and what came to me was, did your team bring language to here? Did you teach language?
This is a new type of language that we will say. And the only thing that matters is what we are saying in this room right now. Nothing in the past matters. Okay? This moment is the only thing that matters. And we are teaching a new way of living, a new language of talking, a new idea, a new belief system. And this is an empowering way to live based on the responsibility of those who are willing to accept this to learn to perceive everything as working out for you, as you being in control of it, as nothing bad is happening, as anything perceived as bad is just an illusion or a fear, and as you work through fearlessness. But our language is English, because that's what Gary understands.
Okay.
Had Gary been French, our language would be French.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And English, fortunately, is spoken by a lot of people. So we have this impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question is my husband. He's my love and my partner. And I feel like we've been together before, really strongly. So am I too far off, or do you feel
You've been together multiple times.
I really sense it
Multiple
yes.
times.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In different roles.
I feel that too,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Sometimes you're the husband, he's the wife. Yes. Sometimes you're the mother, he's the son. Sometimes you're the father, he's the daughter. Sometimes you're siblings. Sometimes you're enemies. You get to play all these things together. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you enjoying this interaction?
Yes, I really am.
Yeah.
Despite him. Despite all the emotions, that's what I mean.
Sure. Well, he is your greatest teacher.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Yep. And you are his.
Thank you.
And because he is so attached to you and you are so attached to him, what he thinks matters. And what you think matters to him. And how you feel matters to him. And how he feels matters to you. And so you want him to feel good. He wants you to feel good. So everything is revolving around that. Now, if you see him as perfect and understand that he is always being perfect because he is a perfect mirror to you, then you can see in him what you need to see, the information that you need for yourself. if you listen to our relationship meditation, you can get what we're trying to say here. So if you listen to that over and over together, you can see the dynamic and how that plays out. And if there's ever an issue between couples, it's always that you want them to be something that they're not being in the moment so that you can feel better. But if you can allow them to be perfect, then you can understand that how they're being is reflecting on how you're perceiving life in general. And you can check up on any fears that you feel, right? And those fears come through in the communication from those closest to you, parents.
Very strongly, yes.
Things like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're thrilled that we had this opportunity to speak to you. We know we will do it again. It's been an experience for us that we will carry forth into all of the conversations we have with other people, because what you have done is brought forth new ideas that could not have been attained without your questions. So it is not us giving you anything. It is you, your desires, your questions, causing us to reach higher and higher to thoughts that have never been thought before and bringing them into reality in a new way. And for that, we are eternally grateful for you, because it is not you who should be grateful to us. It is us who is grateful for you, because without you, we would be drifting around, bumping into walls, and stuck on the 13th floor. And with that, we are complete.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Joshua Live. If you have a question you would like Joshua to answer on the show, send us a message on Facebook at www.facebook.com/teachingsofjoshua. As always, remember that you are loved more than you can imagine by more than you could ever count. We'll see you next time.